Good morning and welcome to Sunday SoulDay. Today we have the co-founders of Hiking Good Vibes and Coffee. They are a community that loves being outdoors. They love conversation with good, open-hearted and open-minded individuals and love a nice cup of coffee or a delicious brunch. Alita and Christina are the co-founders of this incredible company that we get to chat with today. And I'm so excited to invite them on and learn a little bit more about what they're doing, learn a bit more about their backgrounds, and introduce their hiking good vibes and coffee to our viewers. Welcome to the show, Christina and Alita.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we are so happy you guys are here. Um, really grateful that you guys are coming to the show and that you're going to tell us a little bit more about this awesome company. I see you guys are wearing the shirts already. I love it.
We are. We are.
Yeah, congrats on starting that. I know I've kind of watched the evolution of all of this, so really excited.
Yes.
I would love to just start with a little bit about you guys' backgrounds, just so the viewers can get to know you a little bit more and how you even started this great company. We'll start with you, Christina, and then we'll carry over to Alita. But Christina, tell first of all the viewers how we know each other, and then we'll go into your background a little bit.
Yes. So it's almost like, two sides of myself. But Demisha and I met at a startup. I guess it's been a couple of years since, well, we actually worked together for about a year. And then, it's been some time since then with me working in recruiting, as Demisha was able to allow me to work really well together and was really supportive. And again, working in recruiting in that capacity there, which is my primary role. I guess we'll call it the day job, the 9 to 5. And so I've worked in talent acquisition for 20 plus years. I know when I say that, I'm like, wow, that's a long time. It's a long time. But 20 plus years in talent acquisition, working in companies that include tech startups as well as consulting firms, and now working at a law firm in with the talent acquisition team there. And that's one side of me. The other side, it allows me to have a little bit more creativity and fun and freedom, which is my interest in health and wellness, which is how Alita and I came to work together and become obviously friends and develop into other businesses and things like that. With what we're currently doing, I started with an interest in just overall nutrition years ago, thinking about like what I was putting in my body and how that impacted me, and being able to couple that with my interest in just general physical activities. And probably maybe like 5 or so years ago, Alita and I had been doing strength training together and other activities. And I was able to join her on a hike one day. I don't know that I was actually prepared for that initial hike. I was ready physically. I was not ready with all the essentials that we now actually talk to our community about. And so we met, and I started doing that hiking at that point, and really loved it, enjoyed it. Alita had been doing it, I don't know, at this point she's done like 15 plus years. So she allowed me to come along and kind of showed me the way, and really created this interest for being able to share that with others. And that's how we got to where we are now.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Christina and I met at Substack, a startup that we worked together at, and she was so instrumental in those first couple quarters, just helping me scale their organization, and was such a great partner to me and so encouraging, and just really appreciated her partnership throughout the whole process. And then I got to work with her again a little bit later when I started my coaching certification. She was one of the first few people that allowed me to coach her for practice, and I got to learn a lot about hiking, good vibes, and coffee. So I was very grateful that she trusted me again to go through that process with her, and to see it now today is just extraordinary. So I'm so excited to dive in, and thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about your awesome background.
Absolutely. And just, don't take away. You really helped us continue to bring this, to where we are now. So, it was something we were thinking about, and just, working with you in that coaching environment allowed me to be able to build the tools, and then obviously work with Alita to launch and get us to where we are now.
Oh God, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Alita. Can you
Hi.
can you take us through your journey as a program manager?
Okay, well, I I started with IBM back in, I won't say the years, but was with them for about 8 years, dealing with clients and working with executives and doing all these great things. And I decided, hey, I want to do something of my own. So I decided I was going to take the big leap, and I actually started a personal training studio. It was located on 8th Street, so I did the whole, jump into the business, build it out, do the business planning, financing, all that good stuff. Had to deal with the crazy contractors, and started my business. And as Christina said, that's how she and I intersected, through the wellness industry. So I had that business for 10 years. And then, I decided, I don't know if this is really what I want to do for the rest of my life. So, as many people do, they kind of go through this phase of reinventing themselves. So I decided that this was the time for me to close the door on the studio and open the door to my next career. And so I got back into corporate and back into the project management field. And so now I'm a strategist with a federal agency. So it's been such a pleasure. In terms of the hiking, my first hike, I just posted this the other day. My first hike was 15 plus years ago. I went on a hike with some folks that were from a local gym. And I would say that it was like the most exhilarating experience that I had, and I never looked back since. I've always been athletic. I love outdoors. That's just, if you want to find me outdoors. And so, and anyone that knows me knows that about me. I just love to be active. And so, what a better way to have a business is to do something that you love. And so, it's, hiking. We love coffee. We've got great vibes. So we're like, put it all together. And here we are today.
So great. It's that whole saying, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I could not agree more. I love that you both are still working your jobs, but also, leaning into your passion. And I just love that you guys like took that leap of faith and doing exactly what Ali was saying. It's like, it doesn't even feel like work when you're doing what you love. And, a lot of times people are so stuck in the analysis paralysis, and they're like analyzing everything, trying to be perfect. And you guys just went with it, and I love that. Christina, what motivated you to kind of start the hiking good vibes and coffee? Like, I know you met with Alita and you guys have been, friends for many years now. And so, but what made you go with the hiking good vibes and coffee?
I would say it's definitely like this evolution, and looking at the things that we've done. Like, we know what we enjoy. We know we enjoy being outside. We know we enjoy helping people and having fun. And so it was this evolution of, starting with this other part of the business where we were coaching and providing, nutrition plans and workout plans and some of the other things, and just overall motivation to people. Right. And I think, some of those things just we weren't finding that joy and that spark that we wanted. It's like, obviously, like, some of the components were there, but there were just some other things that were like not quite right, where we just kept saying, like, what else? What should we?
didn't like it.
We didn't like it.
We
Right.
did not
We just
like
did
it.
not enjoy it.
It just
So
wasn't for us.
it was not, right? And so it was just like, let's figure out something. Because I think because we've done several different businesses, or we've worked together in several different capacities, we've always known it was like, well, we want to work together, right? Like, what are we doing? Because we like to do it together. And we think I like to think people like to see us together and, kind of bring in that vibe. And so it really was this evolution of like, figuring out what is it that we should do, and this is the thing that we really enjoy, and we'd love to be able to share it with other people.
Yeah, and I love too that you guys are really spotlighting local businesses. Can you speak to that a little bit too?
Sure, sure. So we love to find either a new spot or a spot that I was saying this weekend is consistent. And it is our goal to be able to share, just something that maybe people haven't heard of, or be able to let them experience these things. And, if it's a small town and they've never been, if we have a relationship with the restaurants, we'd love to be able to share that. We obviously try to make relationships with even some of the folks that are working there, and just be able to highlight them, because obviously everybody wins, right? Like the local businesses win, the people that we're connected to, they win because they have a positive experience. Obviously we're giving that as a recommendation, and so it just works out for everyone all around, really, if we are able to build those relationships and then be able to share them with other people.
Yeah, and you guys are not just in the DC area, like you're traveling with your company, which is incredible. And so you're not only spotlighting DC local businesses, but also businesses throughout, like you guys were in Hawaii and then just other areas. So I think it's incredible. I love that.
Yes, wherever we go. I mean, honestly, I'm like, I do research before I go. I know Alita does too. We find, like, what is this coffee shop? She's, Tampa is a place she goes to often, and she's got like a list of like, where have I been, and if there needs to be an update. She's definitely doing a review. So like, either she's gonna give a review either way, but it's like just to be able to provide feedback for others to have to use as they, look and venture out into these new spaces.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Alita, same question that Demisha asked Christina. I know you shared a little bit about being outdoors and how much you love it, but is there anything else that kind of inspired you to create a community that is focused on outdoor activities and connection?
Well, that's a great question. Like Christina said, we love to motivate people, and we wanted to be in a way, it just comes natural to us. Like, we're always trying to create an experience for someone, make them feel safe and welcome. And so it just seemed like the right fit for us. Making cross generational, cross colors, like I grew up in a predominantly kind of white neighborhood growing up in the Midwest, and Christina grew up in kind of similar situations. So we've dealt with that, crossing the color spectrum and really being able to relate to people. And it's not hard. I think a lot of people are afraid of it. And so we thought, well, let's create a space. It's not hard for us. Even some of the businesses, yoga and some of the gyms we go to, we just want to encourage people to interact and engage. We're good people. It's just good people. We love the same thing. We have positive energy, and we want to have great conversation. And it just works. It works really well. And then, of course, I mean, I love Christina. So it was like, we're going to do something together. We're always going to be doing something together. We're always hiking and thinking of like these business ideas that we could do. And so one day we said, maybe we should start a hiking group. And that's the way we're going to build this community and bring people along with us. So that's kind of how it started. It starts on a hike.
It does. It does start on a hike.
Well, it just seems so natural, like it all came together, and you provide a safe space for people to connect from all walks of life. I think that's absolutely incredible. I have so many clients that are looking for communities to join and struggle with friendships and connection, and what you're providing is incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep, so well said. Yeah, sorry.
Today, sorry, Demisha. So I was just going to share this story. We went on a hike this weekend, and one of the young women that joined us, she just said that she had been looking to join a meetup group for a while. She's been here for a year, and she was looking for connections. And she said that when she saw our group, it was like, okay, this is exactly what I want. And so she got out of that, I guess, the space, that fear space, and actually join us hiking. And she hadn't been hiking in such a long time, but we just enjoyed her and she enjoyed us. And we just appreciate the fact that she thought enough of us to join the group.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. And in the community, I'm finding, even for myself, coming from an athletic background where I had to rely mostly on myself, I'm a track runner. And so I realize you can go far on your own, but you can go so much further with community. And so the coaching for me, and now doing the podcast with Ali and just reaching out to the community, and it's huge, and I know so many people, so many of my clients are searching for that. In our adult lives, it's like we tend to we go through our lives, we have our high school friends, some kind of carry along, but then we lose some, and then we have our college friends, some stay, some don't, and so when we get into our adult lives and we start having children and families, and we're older, it's like you start losing that sense of community. You have kind of your core set of friends, but it's so important, and I'm noticing this huge boom of communities. We had a grief person who focuses on grief on our show recently, and she developed a grief community, and it's just so important. So I love that you guys are creating such an inclusive space for not just anyone, but people of color too. Like the fact that you two, let's just say it, it's like the fact that you two are people of color and out there in these different spaces is awesome. It's allowing people to know that we do some of these things too, and inviting them in, and creating that safe space for them to join. So I love that.
Can I just say one thing really quickly?
Yeah,
I think that it's so great that this community is starting post-COVID, after everyone had been in such isolation. We need each other more now than ever. Humans were made to do life in community. And I think we missed out on that so much, and it really impacted our mind, body, and soul.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, agree. Yeah, it's so true. And a large part of why we are going forth with this show, which is, weekly fuel for your mind, body, and soul. So I feel like you guys are doing that too in your community. Christina, what were some of the challenges that you guys faced just establishing this incredible business, and how did you overcome them?
I think, I don't know that I'm going
to be honest.
Right. Like, are we going through this whole list? I think so, one of the things though, it is trying to build community and figuring out where the people are, right? Because we were on, like, I don't know, Instagram, right? Like doing all the things, dancing and pointing, right? That whole thing that was, how people were supposedly making connections. And it's like, well, that's not really doing it, right? And so we just spent a lot of time trying to figure out where our people are, and where they kind of hang out. And I think we've kind of found that with this again, it's like resources that Alita has been using through Meetup and connecting with people, and really, like, it was something that she had been using for years, and for whatever reason was like, why are we not doing that? And then we went over there, and immediately, like, ding 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 ding, this person is joining, this person is joining. It's like you got new members just exploded. And I think it's just like, with the explanation of what we were doing, and not even really a whole lot of information, is not even as much information obviously as we can share on Instagram, right? But like, people really did, it like resonated with people, and the community just kind of flourished. So just, I think that was really one of the biggest things, because the great thing about hiking, obviously we encourage people to have these essentials, right? But like, really, you just need some shoes. We obviously want you to have boots eventually, but like, come on, like, you could find a hike where you could come out with just your basics and a water bottle in your hand, and you're good. So we're not, this is really a low entry point. This is an activity that anybody can do. And so it really was just like, where are the people that are interested in this? And it is cool, because like she said, this weekend we had a group of people, a great group, mixed group, and they were like, I love this. There's this other group that does the happy hour thing, and I like that we are getting our activity in, and then of course we're gonna have some fun after, right? But like we got to move our bodies first and then we get to have fun. So they really, really loved that. And it was just, again, finding those people that were interested in that and building that community.
Yeah, and I'm finding when I talk to people that have a community-based business, like that is the hardest part, is just finding the people and making sure that you're attracting the right person to your community. But once you understand who that is, then it's easier to build upon that. So I love that you guys are sharing that, and thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And I like that you mentioned that you have fun, but that you have balance, that you get movement kind of out of the way first.
Yes.
And where you go and,
Yes.
and have fun. So you work hard and then you play hard, right?
Yeah. That's my motto of life is like all the time.
So Alita, can you share some memorable hikes or places that you've gone with the community?
Oh gosh. I think our our first hike. I think that was like we were nervous. We weren't sure what to expect or who to expect. And it was, I think it's just always that getting over the barrier of your own like fear of whatever that is, like of the unknown. And we ended up going to Rock Creek Park in DC, and it was just such a wonderful experience. It, the women that showed up, this actually were women. We have men that joined our group as well, but this one was a group of women, but they were just exactly who we were looking for, in terms of energy, in terms of, just it's easy to have a conversation. We're not expecting people to be these crazy, outgoing, and they have, entertaining each other. You don't have to do that, but we just had such a good hike together, had some laughs, and it was such a good time just connecting. And I think at that point we realized that, hey, yeah, this is actually what we want to do. We love the size of the group. We wanted it to be small. We're not looking for 30 and 40 and 50 people hikes. It's not us. We like the intimacy. And so it was like, okay, this is a right fit.
So nice to hear that the first hike went well. I know there can be the jitters and it kind of sets the stage and also creates that momentum to keep going. And kind of tells you the universe or higher power tells you this is right. We're on our path.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think it just, it, like you said, with the momentum, we just kind of, okay. And then the next hike, there were more people and we were like, wow, this is so diverse. We had, it was cross the color boundary, cross the gender boundary, even cross the age boundary. So it was great. And it was, when we think about where the community is, it's just like, I just believe in the energy that we give, we receive. And so I think just the energy that Christina and I put out, we get. So we don't have to put too much work into how do we find the people. It's like, okay, the people will find us. They'll find us because they are finding us. And it's actually been a really positive experience.
Wow. Yeah, and I could not agree more. Like with the energy that you're putting out. I was just going to say the two of you have such beautiful energy that I just can't imagine the community not resonating with that beautiful energy. And I see why it's just really grown the way that it has. And both of your hearts are in the right place. So I just love that. Well, I want to ask Christina the same question. Like, what's a memorable hike for you or a place that you guys maybe visited? And, I know you guys do lots of research when you go into some of these places. So would love to hear.
I would say it's kind of funny. One of the most memorable hikes for me is a hike I didn't attend. And it might have been, one of our second or third hikes. And I had family emergency. So I had to be out of town for a few weeks. Or maybe I don't know, it was whatever, it was a long time that I had to miss the hike. And Alita was able to do such a great job. Obviously she's the person that I follow anyway on the hikes, but like, just having the confidence that she did to be able to do it solo, a lot of the people that went on that hike with her had not, it was like some of their first time, and a lot of them have come back and just been like repeat hikers. And so it's just really great. I know that they had a great time, and just really happy that she was able to deliver it in the way that she did, and just kind of took the reins and handled it, which was awesome. So that's, my most memorable at this point.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I know Alita's thebomb.com. I love it. No, thank you so much.
Alita, so what achievements from hiking Good Vibes and Coffee are you particularly proud of?
I'm big on crossing the color boundary, because we want people to know that it doesn't matter. And I just believe we're better together. I think that we all, just the differences, just difference, when we're different, it's just better. And the more we can share that and bring cultures together, if people can take a little bit of that with them to the next spot, I just think the world's going to be a better place. I don't know. I'm just like, superly overly optimistic about it, but just like, we don't have, it's just such positive energy. And there's just, the barriers are down, and one other thing I would say is that just the consistency between us, like sometimes we're just like, we need somebody else to kind of like, I don't know, keep us in check. But this one, I'm just proud well, Christina's like the planner. So, but like, and she's actually been the person kind of keeping us like, okay, we have to get our hikes planned and get them set up. But I'm just proud of us for being able to be consistent and doing it, and just following through.
I love your response about bringing people from all walks of life together, and that you are making the world better. Just our small acts, or our, any act of kindness or love is helping the world to be a better place. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Christina, I have to piggyback on what Alita said, and because I remember the very beginning when we started the coaching and we were talking about this, and to see where you guys are, I'm just proud of you both, of what you've been able to build, and it's just extraordinary to see. I'm watching just like everyone else and rooting you guys on all the way from hot Arizona, but just very, very proud of you. To the same question for you, like what are some things that you're proud of that you've been able to achieve, and proud of, Alita?
Yes, I think it is after each hike, just either creating new relationships, or I don't know, it gets better every time. Like it gets better every time. And, we have, like I said, we've got some of these repeat folks who keep coming back, and they're really enjoying the vibe, right? They're enjoying, because, both of us during a hike can put people through, I mean, it's strenuous, right? And so like, it can be hard. And I'm like, a lot of times I'm a driver. Like, I'm like, let's get it done. But of course I'm mindful of, who's on the hike and things like that. But I am definitely going to be rolling. And it's always nice just, to have some kind of fun laughs on the trail. And then people take that like breath and feel good at the end. And then we're off to the next thing, right? So we're off to the fun. And so again, I love that every time it gets better. The conversations get better. We've got connections. We're able to start having also some other activities that people can participate in that are outside of the trail, that are just, maybe just some fun or whatever. But like, it's just nice because it just continues to build and just get better.
Yeah. And what about working with Alita? What's been your proud moment with her?
What is my proud moment? It's that scheduling thing. We function so differently, and I live by my calendar, like live and die by it. And she has a bit more of a free flow about things. And but I think it's this constant battle because she likes structure, but then sometimes she's like bucking the structure. So I am proud that she has done kind of some changes with the scheduling and things, and we just are able to meet in the middle on the way that we work. And that's been what's been cool as well, with the way that we have divided and kind of conquered as it relates to handling some of the aspects of the business, with like handling social media and that type of thing. She seems to think that my brain works better for the creativity on social media. I'm not sure, but it seems to be working, right? And she obviously knows the meetup and like how to set those things up and organize and get people excited over there. So I don't know. I am just proud of us in general, of our ability to continue to evolve and to realize like what each of our strengths are. And we've spent some time with our other businesses really diving into what our strengths are and our weaknesses, so that we can make sure that we run the business well. But those things again continue to come up, and we are able to just work through them and continue to just make ourselves successful, so that we're not like having some sort of like tiff, right? It's just like, all right, this is how you work. Let me make some adjustments to try to like either bring you closer to whatever direction this way, or again, we meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the partnership. I love that you guys highlight each other's strengths, but then you're also aware, that awareness of the areas that you might need improvement. I really hate the word weakness, but just areas of improvement, right? And and that you guys support each other in that. And that's really what, co-founding is about. It's like, you don't want to find someone exactly like you, you want to find someone with different strengths and that complement you. And so I love the way you guys complement each other.
Yeah. And we can relate to it so much. Demisha and I both complement each other's strengths. And I always say, it is a strength to know where you kind of end and someone else begins. And, and that there's no shame in that game.
Yeah,
right.
Not at all.
It helps. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Alita, what are your future plans and aspirations for Hiking Good Vibes and Coffee? Like, how do you envision it growing and evolving?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Well, we've got our shirts.
Right?
So,
The shimmy.
so I
Little
know,
shimmy.
right? She's got more shimmy than me.
I'm a dancer.
But so we really, that's really where we see the expansion is being able to just build the brand, expand the brand through like our active wear, and coming up with our t-shirts, and just continuing our hikes, possibly doing some traveling events with our group. But really the biggest piece is our shirts. It's the shirts.
Yeah. That's so great. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Yes,
it is.
it
It's
is.
very.
Yes,
Very
and I just can't wait to get my t-shirt. So I'm now back. I'm already looking at the color. You have on my favorite color, Christina, green. So that's definitely happening as soon as I get off the school.
Yeah. I do love this shirt. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Everything. Yeah. And we'll be sure to include the links of that in the description as well, just so guests can find your site.
Awesome.
This is something we ask all of our guests. And so so curious with you guys. I know that you love hiking. I love that, you love good vibes, you love coffee. But how do you guys fuel your soul outside of that? Like, what are some other additional ways that you fuel your soul? I'll start with you, Christina.
Sure. So, I was trying to explain to someone the other day, like, what do I do? What else do I do aside from like, working out? It's like the components are like definitely physical activity, food and friends. So anything that has kind of falling into those ways, and of course, family. That's very important. But those things kind of fall into, if I can have some quality time with family, with friends, that to me gives me energy. I'm not the person necessarily that needs a whole lot of like down and rest. When I'm sleeping, rest. Give me the 8 hours. I like it. If I get more than that, I am dancing in the streets. And so, there's also some other activities that I include, they're activities, but I include them in my kind of rest and rejuvenation, like yoga, meditation, and things like that. So while there's still movement, it allows me to slow my mind. When I'm in the yoga studio, I'm on my mat, I'm not thinking about anything else but that. And so I'm able to spend a lot of time just focused on myself. As a single person, like without children, I have a lot of time to focus on self. And so I mean, like, we love her. We love Christina over here. Love.
I love it. I love it. No, that's so funny. I mean, I was very similar before I had children. So I remember those days. Now it's a little trickier, but to the logo that we have in the back, I calendar it in. And so it's very important for me to rejuvenate and spend that time with myself. So
Alita, same question for you. What do you do to fuel your soul?
We're probably the same in that way in terms of spending quality time with friends. It's very important, and family is important. For me, just like my relationship with God and having those quiet moments and being able to pray and kind of center myself and just engage with God in that way, it restores my soul. And I'm not going to I need more than I need rest. I need quiet time. I need just time to just recenter myself. So where Christina is like, she definitely makes me tired when I look at her calendar. She probably brings me along, and she's like, you can't just not do anything. You're going to have to do something today. And I'm like, okay, I guess I will. But just having the freedom in that, it just is great. And even, back to the friends and the family thing, just, what I've learned is being mindful of the people in your, even family. I mean, being around people that feed your soul, not just spending time with people just to spend time with them. It's quality versus quantity. So
it's so true. We are who we surround ourselves with.
Absolutely.
So it's so important to take a look at who's around us, because that's feeding our soul. Absolutely. Good, bad, or ugly.
Absolutely.
100%. Like, you have a friend that drags you along when you're to get you to do stuff. I have a couple of friends, like, I am that friend most of the time, and when I'm not, I have a friend that does that for me. Like, get over here, let's work out.
Right.
Let's
yes.
go.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Those are good people.
Yes, they are. And I can attest to that. Christina has a lot of energy, and I think that's what we bonded on, because I'm very similar. We're Energizer batteries. So, but I love that you said that you're so mindful of like who you're giving your energy to. It's so important. I think, a lot of times, especially with family, we tend to give out of obligation, and not, really, we're not mindful of just how much that depletes us, and so the fact that you have that awareness is so wonderful, and you can continue to share that, and I know it'll help a lot of our viewers that are watching. So
with good old age.
Not even old age, just experience and life, right? And going through and probably doing those moments, like I've been there as well. So I can definitely, it definitely resonates with me. Christina, where can people find you guys? I'm so excited to have viewers come check you guys out. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so we are hanging out on Instagram at Hiking Good Vibes and Coffee. We also have our meetup group that we can share the link directly on Meetup, which is the same group, Hiking Good Vibes and Coffee, where people can join, and all are welcome, right? Wherever you live, because there may be a hike. We're coming to Arizona, FYI. So
okay, say less. I'm there. I don't care the date. I'll cancel all plans. Like, it's happening. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait.
Yes, we need to book that trip. We need to book that.
Please tell me when. Allie will even maybe come if she's available. That would be amazing.
Unless you guys want to come to California.
I will.
That too.
We're coming to California too. Check.
All right. Cool. Nisha will do both places. I'll come to you. You come to me. You can see them twice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And where can people find these incredible t-shirts?
Yeah, I really like the shirts a lot. I want one.
Thank you. So on our Instagram, we have a link to our Shopify website, and it's the same thing. It's hiking, good vibes, and coffee. So you can find us there.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining today and blessing Sunday Soul Day. It was so awesome to get you on, Christina. It feels like full circle for us. Like the universe continues to bring us together. So I'm so grateful for that. And now the universe has brought us beautiful Alita, and we're so grateful that you guys have been able to come on the show and share a little bit more about your story and this awesome company you guys are building. So congrats to you both. Proud of you both. And everyone have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.